More than a decade has passed since Patrick Swayze's death in 2009, yet the legacy of this beloved actor remains alive and well in the hearts of millions. His iconic films continue to air regularly, keeping his presence in the public eye, while documentaries like Am Patrick Swayze and Patrick Swayze, Ghosts and Demons, both released in 2019, delve deeper into his life and career. These films not only celebrate his extraordinary accomplishments but also reveal the personal challenges and tragedies he faced, offering a portrait of a man who endured immense hardship with remarkable resilience. Swayze's journey to fame began on the stage, where his background in dance seamlessly transitioned into acting. His film debut came in 1979, but it wasn't until the 1980s that he truly began to captivate audiences, first with The Outsiders and later with Youngblood. But it was his role as the charming yet brooding Johnny Castle in Dirty Dancing, 1987, that catapulted him into superstardom, solidifying his status as a heartthrob, an image he reportedly struggled with. His star continued to rise with the 1990 blockbuster Ghost, where his portrayal of a deceased lover brought both romance and supernatural thrills to the big screen. Despite his success, Swayze's life was far from easy. He battled through physical injuries, the pain of personal loss, and a long and difficult struggle with addiction and mental health. Unlike many stars of his era, Swayze was candid about his struggles, never shying away from discussing the emotional and physical tolls of his career in interviews. His memoir, The Time of My Life, co-written with his wife, was published just 2 weeks after his passing and offered fans an intimate look at the man behind the famous smile, a man who, despite the odds, kept fighting for the life he loved. In today's video, we're diving deep into the life of the legendary Patrick Swayze, the man behind the unforgettable performances. We'll explore not just his iconic roles, but also the hidden struggles and personal battles he faced away from the spotlight. From his collaborations with Hollywood's biggest names to his lasting impact on film and television, we'll uncover the emotional truths and untold stories that shaped Swayze's life and career. Join us as we take a closer look at the challenges, setbacks, and heartaches that defined one of Hollywood's brightest stars. But before we jump in, don't forget to show your support by liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more exclusive content. We'd also love to hear your thoughts, so feel free to share them in the comments below. Let's get started. Though acting and dancing may seem like natural partners, both being forms of performance, the skill sets required for each are quite distinct. For Patrick Swayze, it wasn't until his promising ballet career was abruptly cut short that he turned to acting. And, in a way, his misfortune became a stroke of luck for the public, giving rise to a talent that would eventually deliver some of the most iconic performances in Hollywood history. Swayze's ballet dreams were derailed in 1973, when he was just 23. Already showing immense promise in the dance world, he developed a serious tooth abscess that quickly spiraled into a dangerous staph infection in his bloodstream. The infection gravitated toward his injured leg, threatening to escalate to the point where doctors feared it might need to be amputated. While they were able to save his leg, the damage was done. His career as a professional ballet dancer was over. In a reflection on this painful period, Swayze once said, "Leaving ballet created a void in me that I spent years trying to fill." Faced with the loss of a dream, Swayze was at a crossroads, feeling empty and uncertain of his future. He decided to head to Los Angeles, where he would explore acting as a new path forward. His journey in Hollywood began with theater, including a stint in a traveling Disney show, replacing John Travolta as Danny Zuko in Grease, and performing as a dancer in Good Time Charlie. These early roles set the stage for his film debut in the 1979 movie Skatown, USA, which marked the beginning of his successful acting career. While ballet may have been Swayze's first love, his detour into acting turned out to be an even greater gift to audiences. Sometimes, it's the unplanned detours in life that lead us to our true calling, and for Swayze, his unexpected shift from dance to acting gave the world a star whose legacy would endure long after his final performance. Patrick Swayze, despite his fame and success, faced a long battle with alcohol dependency, a struggle that persisted through much of his adult life. Several factors contributed to his reliance on alcohol, particularly the pressures of fame that came after the massive success of Dirty Dancing. In a candid interview with People in 2007, Swayze admitted that the overwhelming attention and expectations of celebrity life drove him to excessive drinking. He also spoke of the challenges of coping with the weight of fame, but with time, he expressed deep gratitude for having eventually overcome this dark period. The loss of his father in 1982, when Swayze was just 30, had a lasting and devastating impact on him. His father's death, at the age of 57, plunged Swayze into a 10-year period of heavy drinking, a time marked by deep grief and emotional turmoil. It wasn't until he was working on fatherhood that Swayze hit a breaking point. At this low point, he realized he needed to seek help. Swayze entered rehab and achieved sobriety in 1993, a significant milestone in his life. However, his battle wasn't over. Though he was able to stay sober for a period, he later experienced a relapse, a reminder of how deeply entrenched alcohol dependency can be. Looking back on his journey, Swayze reflected on how alcohol had fueled his self-pity and how it clouded his sense of self-worth. Yet, he also found strength in recognizing that overcoming alcohol meant shifting his focus to the things that truly mattered to him: his career, his relationships, and his health. Despite the setbacks, Swayze ultimately came to terms with his struggles, finding a new sense of clarity and purpose as he worked to reclaim control of his life. His journey serves as a reminder that even those who seem invincible on the outside face real, human challenges, and overcoming them requires immense strength and resilience. Ghost, The Outsiders, and Point Break are undeniably classic films that have etched their place in cinematic history. However, Dirty Dancing stands in a league of its own, thanks to Patrick Swayze's unforgettable performance as the charismatic dance instructor Johnny Castle. This role earned him his first of 3 Golden Globe nominations and solidified his place as one of Hollywood's most talented and beloved stars. The film's impact has lasted for decades, with memorable lines like Jennifer Grey's iconic "I carried a watermelon" and Swayze's legendary "Nobody puts baby in the corner" still resonating with fans, no matter how many times they've seen it. And, of course, the electrifying dance sequences, including the film's final, high-flying lift, have made Dirty Dancing a cultural phenomenon that continues to captivate audiences. One of the film's most iconic moments is the breathtaking lift, where Johnny Castle lifts baby, Jennifer Grey, in the air during their perfectly rehearsed routine. While the scene remains a standout in cinematic history, it was anything but easy for Swayze. Not only was the water frigidly cold, but Swayze was also battling intense pain from a knee injury sustained earlier in the film during the tree trunk balancing sequence. In fact, the injury was so severe that Swayze revealed in interviews that most of the cartilage in his knee was gone, and the bones were painfully grinding against each other. Despite the physical agony, Swayze powered through, explaining that even though Jennifer Grey was light, lifting someone in the water, where every movement is more challenging, felt like lifting an enormous weight. This behind-the-scenes story highlights not just Swayze's dedication to his craft but also the grit and perseverance that defined his career. The pain and effort behind that iconic lift only make it more impressive, and it's a testament to Swayze's commitment to delivering a performance that would go down in history. Dirty Dancing may be a film that never goes out of style, but its enduring legacy is built on the passion, talent, and sheer willpower of its leading man. Patrick Swayze's battle with depression was one of the most difficult and often overlooked chapters of his life. While it's widely known that depression affects millions of people, including 21 million adults in the US each year, it's easy to forget that even the most famous and seemingly successful individuals aren't immune to it. In fact, at a time when mental health wasn't discussed openly, especially among highly masculine celebrities, Swayze's struggles were hidden in plain sight. Throughout the 1980s and 1990s, Swayze's depression led him down a dark path of alcohol abuse. His pain was compounded by personal tragedies, including a miscarriage he and his wife, Lisa Nemi, endured, which deeply affected him. Though he sought help and got sober in rehab in 1993, the shadow of depression lingered. It was further intensified by the devastating loss of his sister in 1994 and his ongoing frustration with being typecast in roles that didn't allow him to showcase his full range as an actor. Swayze, often cast as the charming heartthrob, was reportedly uncomfortable with his sex symbol status. In a candid moment from the documentary I Am Patrick Swayze, he shared, "I've always been very insecure and had these problems go on in my insides, this tension and not liking myself stuff." He longed for recognition as a serious actor and sought roles that would challenge the image the public had of him. What makes Swayze's journey even more powerful is how he openly discussed his struggles at a time when mental health issues were still widely stigmatized. His willingness to speak out about depression, especially as a figure who was expected to embody strength and confidence, was a groundbreaking move. It helped chip away at the silence surrounding mental health, showing that no one, regardless of their fame or success, is exempt from these challenges. Patrick Swayze's battle with depression serves as a poignant reminder that mental health is something that affects us all, regardless of our outward appearances or accomplishments. By sharing his story, he played a crucial role in opening up conversations around mental health, helping to reduce the stigma and encourage others to seek help. Patrick Swayze's journey began in Houston, Texas, in 1952, where he was raised alongside his four siblings in a family deeply rooted in both the arts and hard work. His father, a chemical plant engineer draftsman, and his mother, a talented choreographer who founded the Houston Jazz Ballet Company, each played a pivotal role in shaping Swayze's upbringing. From an early age, Swayze embraced the creative influences of his mother, especially the world of dance. He was just 3 years old when he started ballet classes, and he often accompanied his mother to work, immersed in the rhythm of the dance world from the very beginning. Though Swayze explored more traditional sports like football and swimming, his passion for dance set him apart. Unfortunately, it also made him a target. Throughout his childhood, he faced bullying and physical violence from classmates, an experience that deeply affected him. In his memoir, Swayze recalled an incident where a group of boys attacked him, which led his father to step in and teach him self-defense. Rather than simply encouraging him to avoid the bullies, his parents supported him in facing each boy one-on-one, a decision that, according to the docuseries Patrick Swayze, The Price of Fame, might have been influenced by his father's desire for his approval and his belief in standing up for himself. This early confrontation with adversity, and the support he received from his family, played a significant role in shaping Swayze's character. It also instilled in him a resilience that would serve him well in both his personal life and his storied career. In March 2008, Swayze was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer, a particularly aggressive and difficult-to-treat form of cancer. The prognosis was grim, with a very low survival rate for individuals diagnosed at that stage. His doctors gave him only a few months to live. Patrick, however, defied the odds and lived for over 20 months after his diagnosis. He maintained a relatively private battle during this time, but he also showed remarkable strength and resilience. He continued to work on projects and even filmed the A&E series The Beast during his treatment, though he was often visibly weakened by the illness. Patrick Swayze became a symbol of courage and perseverance as he fought his illness. His wife, Lisa Nemi, was by his side throughout his battle, and the couple's deep bond was a source of strength for him. He spoke openly about his fight with cancer, and he was often in the public eye, giving interviews and appearing at public events while undergoing chemotherapy. During his struggle, Swayze dealt with both the physical and emotional toll of his disease. He experienced significant weight loss, pain, and exhaustion, but he continued to maintain his sense of humor and his positive outlook as much as possible. Despite his public battle, he was determined not to let his illness define him, and he continued to do what he loved for as long as possible. Sadly, after a courageous battle, Patrick Swayze passed away on September 14, 2009, at the age of 57. His death marked the end of a journey that had captured the hearts of millions of fans who had followed his career and admired his personal strength. His passing was a heartbreaking moment for both the entertainment world and his fans, who had hoped for a miracle. Swayze's death was a huge loss to Hollywood, but his legacy lives on in the roles he played and the indelible mark he left on pop culture. He is remembered for his roles in Dirty Dancing and Ghost, both of which are still beloved by fans around the world. His performance in Ghost, in particular, showcased his emotional depth and has become one of the most iconic in film history. His personal story is one of resilience and love, and while his life was marked by tragedy, it was also filled with moments of light and joy. His determination to fight through his diagnosis and continue working, along with the support of his wife, family, and fans, made him a symbol of strength. In the end, Patrick Swayze's tragic battle with cancer only added to the respect and admiration people had for him as an actor, as a man, and as someone who faced adversity with unwavering dignity.